first time I saw 91, I was standing in a room that didn't exist. Not in my apartment, not in the building. In the space between the walls. I'd been hearing a scratching for weeks, a soft, rhythmic sound like fingernails on drywall. I told myself it was mice, I told myself it was pipes. I told myself a lot of things. But the scratching had a pattern, a beat, 91 taps. Pause, 91 taps, pause. I followed the sound to my bedroom closet. The back wall was warm. I pressed my ear to it. The scratching was louder, and beneath it, a whisper, not words, a shape, the shape of a number, 91. I took a hammer to the wall. The plaster crumbled. Behind it was not a stud, not insulation, it was a door. Small wooden, painted the same color as the wall so it blended in. A brass knob, and above the knob, carved into the wood, the number 91. I turned the knob. The door swung open. Behind it was a room that couldn't exist. My apartment was on the 4th floor. This room had a window. The window showed a street I didn't recognize. Old cars, old clothes. The date on the newspaper on the windowsill was September 1st, 1931. I stepped inside. The room was small. A bed, a desk, a chair. On the desk, a journal. I opened it. The handwriting was mine, but shaky, old. The first entry was dated 91 years ago. It said, "Today I found the room. Today I started counting. 91 days until the door closes. 91 days until I'm trapped. 91 days until the other me takes my place." I flipped through the journal, page after page, decades of entries, all in my handwriting, all describing the same thing: the room, the door, the number, the other me, the one who lived on the other side, the one who wanted to swap. The final entry was dated today. It said, "You're reading this. That means you found the door. You found the room. You found the journal. You have 91 days, not to escape, to prepare, to say goodbye. Because on day 91, the door will close. You will stay. The other me will leave, and you will become the one who writes the journal, the one who waits, the one who counts." I dropped the journal. The room was cold. The window showed a different street now. Modern cars, modern clothes. I looked outside. It was my street. My apartment building across the road. I could see my own window, my own lights, and in the window a figure, standing, watching. It had my face. I ran to the door. The knob was warm. I turned it. The door opened into my closet. I stepped through. The closet was normal. My clothes, my shoes, the hole in the wall was still there, but the door was gone. Behind the hole was a brick wall, solid. No door, no room, no number. I thought it was a dream. I thought I'd imagined it. Then I looked at my hands. The fingernails were dirty, with plaster, with dust, with 91 years of waiting. The next morning, I found the key. It was on my nightstand. Brass, old. The bow was shaped like the number 91. I didn't put it there. I didn't know where it came from. But I knew what it opened. The door, the room, the space between. I waited until 9:01 p.m. That's when the scratching started, 91 taps. I went to the closet. The hole was still there. I reached into it. My hand went through the bricks. I felt wood, a knob. The door opened. The room was the same. The desk, the chair, the journal. But the window showed a different date, September 2nd, 1931. I opened the journal. In my handwriting. Day 2. The other me is watching. I can feel them. In my apartment. Loving my wife. Playing with my dog. They think they're me. They don't know they're a copy, a reflection, a thief. I closed the journal. The room was cold. The window showed my street, my apartment. My window, the figure, was still there. Watching, it waved. I didn't wave back. I started visiting the room every day. Each time, the date in the window was different. 1941, 1951. The journal entries were different too. My handwriting aged. The ink faded. The words grew desperate. The other me was not a thief. They were a prisoner. Trapped in my life. Trapped in my body. Trapped in the loop. On day 45, I read an entry that changed everything. It was dated 1976. I finally understand. The room is not a prison, it's a bridge. The number 91 is not a countdown, it's an address. The address of the person I used to be, the person I will become. The other me is not a copy. They are me. From a different time, a different timeline, a different choice. We are two ends of the same string, and the string is running out. I looked at my hands. They were older. Not my hands. The hands of the person who wrote that entry. The person who had been waiting in this room for 91 years. The person I was becoming. On day 60, I stopped going home. I stayed in the room. The window showed my apartment. The other me was still there, living my life, but they were fading. Their face was blurry. Their movements were slow. They were becoming the reflection, the ghost, the memory. I wrote in the journal. My hand was shaky, old. Day 60, I am forgetting, not the room, the world outside. My wife's face, my dog's bark, the smell of coffee in the morning. They are slipping away, being replaced by the room, the desk, the chair, the number. I am becoming the one who waits, the one who counts, the one who writes. On day 90, I wrote the final entry. Tomorrow is day 91. The door will close, not because I'm trapped, because I'm ready. The other me is gone. They faded, became dust, became memory, became the number. I am alone now, in the room, in the between, in the number. I have 91 years of memories, 91 years of waiting, 91 years of writing. And now I will close the journal, and I will close my eyes, and I will become the space between the numbers. I closed the journal. I walked to the door. I turned the knob. The door opened into my closet. My apartment was dark, empty. No wife, no dog, no coffee, just dust, just silence, just the number. I stepped through. The door closed behind me. The hole in the wall was gone. The closet was normal. I walked through my apartment. It was mine, but it wasn't. The furniture was different. The photos on the wall were of people I didn't recognize. The clothes in the closet were not my size. I had been gone for 91 days. But in this world, 91 years had passed. I looked in the mirror. My face was old, wrinkled. The eyes were tired. The eyes of someone who had waited too long. Someone who had counted too many numbers. Someone who had written too many pages. I sat on the couch. I didn't know what to do. The room was gone. The door was gone. The journal was gone. All that was left was the number. 91. It was on the clock, on the calendar, on the back of my hand. A scar, a brand, a promise. I lived in that apartment for a year. I never saw another person. The building was empty. The street was empty. The city was empty. I was alone, in a world that had moved on without me, or a world that had never included me. I wasn't sure. One night, I heard scratching, not from the wall, from the front door. I opened it. There was a box, cardboard, labeled 91. I brought it inside, opened it. Inside were letters, dozens of them, all addressed to me. The postmark was today's date. The handwriting was mine, but younger. The handwriting of the person I used to be. I opened the first letter. Dear future me, if you're reading this, you found the box. You opened the door. You stepped through. You became the one who waits. Now you have a choice. You can stay in that empty world, alone, forgotten. Or you can write your own letters. Put them in a box, leave them for someone else. Start the cycle again. The number 91 is not a curse. It's a gift of time, a gift of perspective, a gift we'll just choose wisely. I put the letters back in the box. I closed the lid. I looked around the empty apartment, the empty street, the empty world. I could stay, I could fade, I could become dust, or I could write. I sat at the desk. I took a pen. I wrote the first letter. Dear you, if you're reading this, you found the box. You opened the door. You stepped through. You became the one who waits. Now you have a choice. I wrote 91 letters. I put them in the box. I sealed it. I addressed it to myself at my old address, in my old world, the one with my wife, my dog, my coffee. The one I had left behind. I carried the box to the closet. The hole was back. The door was back. The room was back. I stepped inside. The window showed my street, my apartment, my wife. She was sitting on the couch, alone, crying. She had been crying for 91 days, for 91 years, for a lifetime. I put the box on the desk. I walked to the door. I turned the knob. The door opened into my closet. I stepped through. The apartment was bright. My wife looked up. Her eyes were red. Her face was wet. Where have you been? She whispered. I didn't answer. I held her. I cried. I was home, not the room, not the between, not the number. Home, the box is still in the room. The room is still behind the door. The door is still in the closet. And the number is still on my hand. 91. A scar, a reminder, a promise. I don't go into the closet anymore. I don't listen for scratching. I don't count the taps. I live my life. I love my wife. I walk my dog. I drink my coffee. I am present. I am here. But sometimes late at night I feel it, the pull, the call, the number. It whispers my name. It invites me back. It reminds me that the room is still there. The journal is still waiting. The box is still unopened, 981. It's not a countdown. It's a doorway between worlds, between times, between selves. You have a number too. Everyone does. It's the number of the door in your closet, the one you've been ignoring, the one you've been covering with posters and dressers and denial. It's there, waiting, scratching, whispering. Don't open it unless you're ready, unless you're prepared, unless you have 91 days to spare, and 91 years to wait, and 91 letters to write. I opened it, I waited, I wrote. I came back, but not everyone does. Some stay in the room, become the journal, become the number, become the space between the walls, 91. It's not the end, it's a choice. The door is waiting. The scratching has started. Can you hear it? 91 taps. Pause. 91 taps. Don't count them. Don't follow them. Just live, just love, just be. That's the only way to stay on the right side of the door.